Hi, Alison here, introducing a new segment to our Sailmates video called In the Galley. I'm going to be sharing recipes, tips, and things I've learned over the last 5 years living and cooking on a boat. Bon appetit, hope you enjoy. This morning I am making sourdough biscuits. Since we can't always have access to stores and fresh bread, one great thing that I discovered is how wonderful sourdough is. You can use the starter to make regular bread, you can make biscuits, you can make tortillas, you can make pizza crust. So basically anything that's, bread, you can make with sourdough. So one of the best things I made was sourdough brownies. I know that sounds like a little odd, sourdough chocolate, but it gives it a very unique flavor, and they're absolutely my favorite brownies ever. So for my biscuits, I not only use them for dinner, but sometimes I'll make breakfast sandwiches out of the biscuits, and it just gives me a wider variety of meal options to have biscuits, because they're so handy. They can be lunch, they can be breakfast, they can go with dinner. And another factor when you're baking on a boat is I don't have those wonderful mixing stands and things to make my life easier, so I have to be a little innovative when it comes to working with my recipes. And with biscuits, it's traditional to put the butter in and chop it up using some type of blender or device. And I found a really cool tip from somebody, and they suggested using frozen butter and a grater. And this makes the butter into little small usable portions that you can mix into your flour without having to have a tool or sit there with a knife and spend hours chopping it in. And then when I'm done, I wrap it back up and I stick it back in my freezer for next time. I bought lots of wonderful Irish butter because it's so inexpensive, and it's like the best butter you won't ever taste. Grated cheddar cheese and garlic powder. So these are actually buttery garlic cheddar sourdough biscuits. Let me tell you, they're awesome. Mix it up a little bit. Doing this, I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 425 degrees. Plain Greek yogurt. It's really moist, and I don't know, it just seems to add something to the flavor that enhances the biscuits. And my indicator of that is when I feed my husband the biscuits and he goes, "Oh, these are the best you've ever made." And the last time he said that, I had added the Greek yogurt. Et voila! Now I am ready to start cutting out my biscuits. And because I don't have the luxury of a ton of cabinet space to bring things like cookie cutters and biscuit cutters, I have to be inventive and use whatever I have on my boat. So the approximate right size for a biscuit is a plastic cup. I'm going to make 2 larger biscuits because this is going to be breakfast sandwiches. Plastic cup, which is a few centimeters smaller than this one. These will be my dinner biscuits. See? Perfect size. Back when we had our group of boating friends or boat buddy friends in places like the Bahamas and Azores and the different ports in the Caribbean that we all stopped at, I would make things like sourdough pretzels or my biscuits, and you could just smell it cooking. You just kind of the baking would just kind of infuse the air around my boat. And of course I'd start getting calls on the radio. You are giving out some of your biscuits or your sourdough pretzels. So as soon as they're out of the oven, I would take whatever I was cooking and I would put it on a little tray and cover it. And we'd get in the dinghy and I'd drive around to people's boats and do a little knock and the porthole would open and I'd stick in a couple biscuits and then go to the next boat and hand out a couple pretzels. So yeah, I got really popular. It was a great way to keep my friends. Dad doesn't have to pay them if I give them biscuits or pretzels. So I'm going to go ahead and put my biscuits on my Silpat. Okay, my oven is finally preheated to about 400-ish, which is good enough. I'm not sure exactly how accurate my boat oven is, so I kind of have to guesstimate. Sometimes it heats up a little fast. So I'm going to go ahead and pop them in right around 400. We'll wait 20 minutes and give them a check and see what we got. So I just checked in on my biscuits and they're browning up nicely, so I'm going to go ahead and take them out of the oven. Oh, and they look wonderful. And the one thing with sourdough is it does not puff up like regular biscuits do. But I find that if you're gluten intolerant like I am, the sourdough tends to eat the gluten, so they don't hurt my stomach. I can eat sourdough things that I make in my boat, and it's not a problem for me. So that's one of the reasons why I make sourdough. So now I'm going to go ahead and make breakfast. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and toast these to get these nice and crispy. And then I'm going to cook 2 eggs. And I had sliced Edam left in my refrigerator, so we're going to put slices of Edam cheese and chorizo sausage and egg on one of my fresh sourdough biscuits. And that's going to be our lunch. Steamy. All ready to go. Just got to put the lids on.
Very good.
If you liked this video, please leave a comment below. Let me know if you tried this recipe and how it turned out. As always, if you have any questions or have specific things you'd like to see in this segment, feel free to leave them in the comments here also. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to hit the subscribe and notify button so you don't miss a thing.